everybody, welcome to another edition of Unboxing the Vinyl. I'm your host, Tim Bianconi. If you would go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel below, that would be appreciated. If you could also hit that notification bell so you can be notified anytime we put out new content, that would be appreciated also. So I'm a little late to the game on this one, as I have been with a lot of my videos lately, but today we are going to unbox and take a look at the 2020 Record Store Day release for Ace Frehley's Trouble Walkin. So it's 2022 now, so I'm about 2 years late on this particular release, but I wasn't able to get there and get a hold of it the day it came out or the actual record store day that it was released, but I did find it at a local record store about a week or so ago, and it's an album that I love, and for me this also qualifies as a lost classic, so I thought it'd be fun to open it up and see what we have here. So again, Ace Frehley, Trouble Walkin. This was his, I guess technically fourth solo record, but only the second with his name on it, because the two in between were under the Frehley's Comet moniker. So this is the first album since this one behind me that it was actually released under the name Ace Frehley. It was originally released on October 13th, 1989. It came out on the Atlantic and Megaforce labels. It was produced by Eddie Kramer, who, anybody that knows music knows the producer Eddie Kramer. Produced by Eddie Kramer, Ace Frehley, and band member John Regan. Unfortunately, on Billboard, it only reached as high as number 102, which I find a little surprising. And there's no certifications for gold or platinum or anything for this record. So again, like I said, we're looking at the Record Store Day 2020 issue of this. So let's go ahead and open this up and see what we have. All right. Let's see if I can find a good way to wedge in here and get this open. There we go. Boy, I really need to keep a knife or something in here for this. There we go. All right. And that sucks. I just ripped the freaking hype sticker. Oh well. Nothing too special about it anyway. All it just says is first time on vinyl since '89. It doesn't really say much else. So we can let that go. Let's see if I can get the rest of the album out of here. Alright, there we go. Alright. Get all that away. Alright. So here we go. Without cellophane. Whoa. Ace Frehley, Trouble Walkin. There's the front cover with Ace. And here is the back cover with the track listings and everything else. So really cool, really cool. Alright, so let's take a look and see what we have. There is no gatefold. It is a double album, but there isn't a gatefold or anything. So both albums are just inside here. And, I don't know how much else there is. Alright, so let's pull out the first record. Alright, so if we pull out the first inner sleeve, we see on one side, in big, bold letters, the Ace Frehley logo as it was in 1989. On the back here, we see song lyrics, liner notes, and some other things. So really cool. And I can't remember what might have been special, if anything, about this record, but I think I just saw. So this is going to be pretty fancy. So this album is in fancy yellow and orange vinyl. That is really cool. So if we look at side one here, we have the orange in the middle, and then, I wouldn't even say it fades, it just turns into yellow as we get further out to the outside of the record. But the sticker on the inside is pretty basic, just with the Ace Frehley logo and Trouble Walkin'. The track listing for that side, track listing for side two. And like I said, this was originally released on Atlantic and Megaforce Records, but this re-release for Record Store Day came out on the E1 label, which I think might be the label he's on currently for his new music. I'm not entirely sure about that, so don't quote me. But let's go ahead and pull out record 2 to see if there's anything else different about this one. So once again, we have the big Ace Frehley logo on one side of the inner sleeve. And on the back here, we have random pictures of Ace as well as the rest of the band, which what I assume was during the making of the album. So let's see here. It appears this is the same yellow and orange vinyl. And it is. So, again, side 3 in this case, side 4. And this particular edition does play at 45 RPMs. So that's kind of neat. Alright, so let's get this back in place. And there's nothing else in here, I did double check. No download cards or anything like that. So anyway, there you go. Ace Frehley, Trouble Walkin'. Now, the reviews for this album, at least the two that I saw, were fairly good. One gave it 3 out of 5 stars, another gave it like 8 out of 10, which is good. Now, personally, this is my favorite Ace Frehley release outside of his initial 1978 solo album while he was with Kiss. There's been some other good records. The Frehley's Comet records were decent, and of course, the Anomaly album he put out in 2009 was really, really good. And you know, I'm kind of hit or miss on the more recent stuff. But this album, to me, while it didn't do that well on the charts and sales and all that, I just think it's an amazing album that everyone should hear. I just think it's a really, really fun. If you're a fan of Ace Frehley, this is a great album. So, some of my favorite songs on the album, I mean, it starts right off the bat with Shot Full of Rock, just a awesome rocker. Then it goes into Do Ya, which is a Jeff Lynne and ELO cover. Personally, in my opinion, while I do like ELO a lot, I think Ace's version just blows that away completely. That's just my opinion. Then it goes into Five Card Stud. Then it goes into another cover, which this one's kind of interesting. So he covers a Kiss song called Hide Your Heart, which is interesting enough because, he's a former member, former member of Kiss. But what was funny about that is Kiss's version of Hide Your Heart came out right around the same time on their Hot in the Shade album. And from what I understand, and I'm not really sure how this happened, but in 1989, Hide Your Heart was recorded by like 4 or 5 different groups. Of course, there was Kiss, there was Ace, Molly Hatchet, Southern rock band from my hometown of Jacksonville, Florida. They did a version of it too on their 89 album. And then I think there was 1 or 2 other versions of it as well. I'm not really sure who those artists were, but again, 4 or 5 different versions of Hide Your Heart, all coming out the same year, which was the first year that actual song was released, and caused a little bit of controversy and a little more of a rift between Ace and Kiss, because I guess they weren't really happy that he put it on his album, and who knows, who knows if it being on Ace's album maybe diluted it from being a bigger hit for Kiss. I'm not really sure. I will say in this case, I do prefer the Kiss version to Ace's version, but still, it makes for interesting drama in the world of Kiss. That he covered a non-makeup era Kiss song on his 1989 album. I just think that's kind of funny. But anyway, if we keep going, the title track, Trouble Walkin', a great song. And then one of the, another highlight for me on this album is a song called Too Young to Die, which was interesting in that it featured Peter Criss, coming back, for the first time doing anything with anybody else in Kiss since he had left in 1980. And I'm not sure if he played drums on the song, but I know he sings on it. I know he sings lead on it, and of course, and then I think he did some background vocals for other parts of the album, as did the guys from Skid Row. So very cool, some decent guests on the record. But again, Too Young to Die was the first time, to my knowledge, that Peter and Ace had worked together since Peter left Kiss in 1980. So really cool. You get like half a Kiss reunion, like the other half, or whatever. So, if you don't want to shell out the money that I did for this particular Record Store Day edition, which I won't talk about that, in case my wife is watching, but if you don't want to shell out the money for that, or you're not a vinyl junkie or whatever, the album is available on iTunes. If you want a really great sounding remastered version of this, there's a company out of England, Rock Candy Records, that does a lot of remastering and reissues for a lot of 80s albums, maybe more, I don't know, I wouldn't say like underground or lesser known or whatever, because they do have some pretty big albums that they've reissued, but they do a lot of reissues of 80s era rock albums. And Ace Frehley's Trouble Walkin' is one of them. So you can pick up, and they do a great job with their remastering. I think I have a video that I put out a few years ago on them. But they do a great job with their remasters and their reissues and their packaging. So check that out if you're not interested in having the vinyl. Again, another great record. Like I said, unfortunately it didn't do that well, but I really think this was an album that was missed that should have been bigger than it was. And unfortunately for Ace Frehley, it just, maybe just timing and all that kind of stuff, or, it just, who knows. I do remember Do Ya being a pretty big hit on MTV and Dial MTV and all that, so I'm really surprised that the album didn't do better than it did. But, it is what it is. So Ace Frehley, Trouble Walkin'. If you like Ace Frehley and the stuff he did in Kiss and the stuff he did on the 78 solo record, this is definitely an extension of that, maybe just with a little more 80s style thrown in. So that's all I've got for you this time. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified when we put out new material. I've got the rest of my Unboxing the Vinyl series. I've also got my Inside the Vinyl series where we talk about live albums and lost classics. This could qualify as a lost classic in my opinion. I've also got some concert footage from different festivals, so check those out. And if you're into disc golf and you want to see some mediocre disc golf with some mediocre players like myself, check those out as well. But again, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Peace out. There you go, boy.